Hello student, today we are going to discuss how to prepare the final accounts of company. In this topic we will learn how to prepare the final account of the companies as per the revised schedule 3 of the Companies Act 2013. We will see how to prepare the final account of companies other than the special companies. Special company means banking company, insurance company, electricity company. Okay, they have their own act and they have their separate format for the preparation of final account of that special company. We are going to prepare the final accounts of companies other than that special company. The final accounts of companies as per the Companies Act 2013 include balance sheet at the end of the financial year, that is part 1 of schedule 3. Next, statement of profit and loss account, that is part 2 of schedule 3. Next, cash flow statement. Next, statement of changes in equity, and last one, exclamatory note forming part of any document. Final accounts are prepared by considering statutory requirement, schedule 3 of Companies Act 2013, accounting standards and guidance notes. Okay, we will see fundamental accounting assumption. Okay, there are 3 fundamental accounting assumptions, that is going concern, consistency and accrual. It is generally assumed that financial statements are prepared on the basis of fundamental accounting assumption. Accounting standard 1 required that if the fundamental accounting assumptions are followed for the preparation and presentation of financial statement, no specific disclosure is necessary. However, if particular accounting assumption is not followed, the fact should be disclosed. The first fundamental assumption is going concern. Going concern, an entity is considered as a going concern if it is able to continue operation in foreseeable future. Foreseeable means coming 1 or 2 years. Okay, that means if the intention of company is to close down the operation in next coming 1 or 2 years, at that time we should disclose the fact about that in the financial statement. Next fundamental accounting assumption is consistency. The accounting policies are consistently followed over the accounting period, that is from one accounting year to the another accounting year. A change in accounting policy may be necessary for making accounting data more reliable and relevant. Consistency is fundamental accounting assumption. It requires that the accounting policy should be followed from one year to the another. This, however, does not mean that accounting policies once adopted cannot be changed to maintain the comparability, quality of the accounting data. In fact, change in accounting policy may be necessary to make the accounting data more reliable and relevant. A change in accounting policy should be made in the following conditions. The adoption of the different accounting policy is required by statute or for compliance with an accounting standard, and it is considered that change would result in more appropriate presentation of financial statement. In these two situations, we can change the accounting policy in preparation of financial statement from one period to the subsequent period, and its effects of the states of affairs of balance sheet and the profit and loss account of the current period or the financial statement of the later period. Then this kind of change must be disclosed in financial statement. The amount by which the financial statement is affected should be disclosed to the extent ascertainable. And last fundamental accounting assumption is accrual. It means that the financial statement is prepared on mercantile system only. The revenue and the cost are recognized as and when they are earned or incurred and recorded in the financial statement of the period to which they relate. Okay, these are the fundamental accounting assumptions. That is, first one is going concern, next consistency, and last one is accrual. Now we will see how to solve the practical problem related to the final account of companies. There are two formats for the preparation of final account of company. Part 1 of the schedule 3, that is balance sheet, okay, and part 2 of the schedule 3, that is statement of profit and loss account. Okay, this is the format of balance sheet, part 1 of the revised schedule 3. This is first column is a particular, next one is notes to accounts. Okay, we will mention major head here, and all the information related to that head we will mention in the notes to accounts. And these are the rupees column, this is inner one and this is outer column. Okay, this is inner rupees column and this is outer rupees column. Okay, in the format of balance sheet there are two major head, first two major part actually. First one is equity and liability and second one is asset. Okay, in the first part, that is in equity and liability, there are four major head. First one is shareholder fund, next one is share application money pending allotment, next one is non-current liabilities, and last one is current liability. And in the second major part, that is asset, there are two major head. First one is non-current asset and next one is current asset. Okay, there are major distinction in current and non-current. If the assets and liability are held for more than 12 months, that is considered as non-current assets or liability. Or if the assets or liability are held less than the 12 months, that is considered as a current liability or current asset. Okay, now we will see each head in detail. Okay, first head is in the equity and liability. First head is shareholder fund. In the shareholder fund there are three subhead. First one is share capital. In the share capital we will mention authorized share capital, issued and paid up share capital, means preference share capital and equity share capital. And if there is call scenarios, we will deduct it from the paid up capital, and if there is any share for future account, then we will add it into the paid up capital. Okay, this is the notes of the share capital. Okay, second point is reserve and surplus. Okay, note number 2. Okay, in the reserve and surplus we will mention all the reserve: security premium, profit and loss account, general reserve, dividend equalization reserve, sinking fund. Okay, and after that we will mention opening balance of profit and loss account. Okay, all other appropriation we will deduct it from that current year profit, and closing balance we will mention here. Okay, in the reserve and surplus. Okay, next point is money received against share warrant. Okay, this subhead is irrelevant for your practical problem purpose, because you will not ask any question or any point about this. But what is the share warrant? A share warrant is a financial instrument which gives the holder the right to acquire the equity share. A disclosure of money received against share warrant is to be made since shares are yet to be allotted against the share warrant. Okay. Next major head is share application money pending allotment. This is also irrelevant for your practical problem purpose. Share application money pending allotment means the amount received on application on which allotment is not yet made. The process starts when any company publicly issue its equity share to raise the fund. First, it received the application money from its applicant, and the equity shares are allotted to the respective applicant on the latter date. Next major head is non-current liabilities. In the long-term non-current liabilities, there are four subheads. First one is long-term liabilities or borrowing, long-term borrowings. Okay, note number 3. In the long-term borrowing, there are debentures, loans from banks and financial institutions, public deposits, loans and advances from the related parties, long-term maturities of financial lease, obligations, and other loans and advances are mentioned in the long-term borrowing. Okay. Next major head is deferred tax liability. If you see, the net word is mentioned here. This is deferred tax liability, and if you see at the asset side, you will find deferred tax asset. Okay. So what is that deferred tax assets or deferred tax liability? In some cases, there is a difference between amount of expenses or income that are considered in the books of accounts and the expenses or income that are allowed or disallowed as per the income tax. Okay, so it is the difference between the income tax calculated as per the books of accounts of the company or income tax calculated as per the income tax rule. Okay, and we will mention net effect here. Okay, if the deferred tax liability is more, then we will mention deferred tax liability, or if the deferred tax asset is more, at that time we will mention deferred tax asset. So next point is, but for the practical problem purpose, you will not have any deferred tax assets or deferred tax liability in your practical problem. The next point is other long-term liabilities. In other long-term liabilities, we will mention creditors for asset, long-term trade payable, trade deposits, security deposits. Okay, in other long-term liabilities. Next point is long-term provision. Okay, long-term provisions. In the long-term provisions, we will show provisions for the employees' benefit, that is pension and gratuities, provisions for warranties, etc. we will mention in long-term provisions. Okay, this is non-current liabilities. These are the non-current liabilities. Okay, next major head is current liabilities. If you compare the current and non-current, you will find same items. Here A point is long-term liabilities and here is a short-term. Okay, next other long-term liabilities, other current liabilities, long-term provision and short-term provisions. Okay, so you need to remember one of these. Okay, now let's see what is mentioned in short-term borrowing. Okay, in the short-term borrowing, loan from the subsidiaries company, loan from the directors, and bank overdrafts are mentioned in short-term borrowing. Okay, and also loans and advances from the related parties, deposits, and other loans and advances which are in short term in nature, we will mention here. Okay, next point is trade payable. Okay, trade payable means debtors and creditors, sundry creditors and bills payable are mentioned here. Okay, in the trade payable we will mention creditors and bills payable. Okay, next point is other current liabilities. Okay, next point is other current liabilities. In the other current liabilities, we will mention interest payable on debentures and loans, income tax payable, outstanding expenses, TDS payable. Okay, next, current maturity of long term debt, current maturity of financial lease obligation, income received in advance, unpaid dividend. Okay, all these are mentioned in the other current liabilities. Next point is short term provision. In the short term provision, we will mention provision for taxation. Okay, here also, if the provision for taxation is more, then we will mention provision for taxation, or if the advance tax is more, then we will mention advance tax. Okay, proposed dividend is also mentioned in the short term provision, and short term provision is the last item in the current liabilities and also in the equity and liabilities in the first part of the balance sheet. Okay, and this is second major heading, that is asset. In the asset there are two main head, that is non-current asset and next one is current asset. In the non-current asset there are 5 subheading, that is fixed asset, non-current investment, deferred tax asset, next long-term loans and advances, and last one is other non-current asset. In the fixed asset there are 4 sub point, that is tangible fixed asset, next one is intangible fixed asset, next capital work in progress, that is a tangible asset work in progress, and intangible assets under development, that is intangible assets work in progress. Okay, in the tangible fixed asset we will mention note number 10. All the tangible fixed assets are mentioned there, that is land, building, plant and machinery, equipments, vehicles. All the tangible assets are mentioned there. Okay, if there is no additional information related to tangible fixed asset, we can mention note like this in simple way, but the actual note of the tangible fixed asset is like this. Okay, this is the asset. Okay, we will mention the name of the asset here in the first column. Next 4 column are related to the cost of the asset. Okay, and next 4 column related to the depreciation on asset. Okay, and last column is the net block. Okay, okay, the first column we will mention original cost of the asset at the beginning of the year. If there is any addition in the asset during the current year, we will mention here. If there is a sale of asset in the current year, we will mention here. And this is the original cost of asset at the end of the year, that means beginning year plus addition minus deduction is equal to original cost at the end of the year. Okay, that is column number 2 plus 3 minus 4 is equal to column number 5. Depreciation will be mentioned here. Okay, depreciation at the beginning of the year will mention here. Current year depreciation will mention here. Okay, if there is any sale of asset, that is this sale of asset, the total depreciation on that sale of asset we will mention here. Okay, depreciation on asset disposed of. Okay, this is the total depreciation at the end of the year. Okay, that means column number 6 plus 7 minus 8 is equal to column number 9. Okay, this is the total depreciation at the end of the year, and last column is the net block. Okay, that is column number 10. Okay, we can find the net block by deducting total depreciation from the original cost of asset, total original cost of asset, that is column number 5 minus column number 9 is equal to column number 10. Okay, this is the working note or note of the tangible fixed asset. Okay, and same notes is also prepared for the intangible fixed asset as well. Okay, intangible fixed asset, same note we will mention. We can mention same note for the intangible fixed asset as well. Okay, this is tangible fixed asset under construction or under development. Okay, next intangible fixed asset under development. Okay, these 2 points are not relevant for your practical problem. Okay, but first 2 points are relevant for your practical problem. We should prepare that note for the tangible fixed asset as well as intangible fixed asset. Okay, next note number next point is non-current investment, that is long-term investment, note number 13. Okay, okay, this is note number 11. If no additional information is provided for the intangible fixed asset, at that time we can mention this simple note for the intangible fixed asset. But actually note number 11 also prepare in this fashion, that is intangible fixed asset. Okay, next note is note number 12, fixed asset under development, that is capital work in progress. Okay, assets under construction or assets under development we will mention here. Okay, next note is non-current investment, B point, that is long-term investment, investment in shares and debenture, investment in government bonds, investment in gold and silver. Okay, investment in preference shares. Okay, investment in mutual fund, investment in partnership firm, all the long-term investment we will mention here. Okay, next point is long-term loans and advances. Okay, in the long-term loans and advances, if the loans and advances are taken for more than 12 months, that we will mention here. It includes capital advances, security deposit, loans and advances to the related party, other loans and advances, advance tax. Okay, SENVAT credit receivable, VAT credit receivable. Okay, all these things are mentioned here in the long-term loans and advances. Okay, that is C point. Okay, long-term loans and advances. Sorry, C point is deferred tax asset. We have already discussed about this. Okay, we will mention deferred tax assets or deferred tax liability. If there is any deferred tax asset or deferred tax liability, we will mention net effect of that. Okay, next point is D point, long-term loans and advances. Okay, next last point is in the non-current asset, other non-current asset. In the other non-current asset, we will mention long-term trade receivable. Okay, long-term trade receivable, miscellaneous expenditure, preliminary expenses, discount on loss of shares and debentures, underwriting commission and brokerage. Okay, next current asset. Next major head is current asset. In the current asset there are 6 subhead, that is current investment. Next inventory means stock. Next trade receivable means debtors and bills receivable. Next cash and cash equivalent means cash balance, bank balance, checks, bank draft. All these things we will mention here. Next short-term loans and advances. Okay, in the short-term loans and advances we will mention prepaid expenses, tax refund receivable, and last point is other current asset. In the other current asset we will mention non-trade receivable, unamortized expenditure. Okay, we will see one by one. First, current investment, note number 16. Okay, investment maturing within 1 year. Okay, this is current investment. Next, inventories. Inventories means stock. It includes 3 types of stock in case of manufacturing concern, that is stock of raw material, stock of work in progress, and stock of finished goods. And in case of trading concern, there will be only one stock, that is stock of finished goods. Okay, closing stock of that we will mention here. Next point is trade receivable. Trade receivable include debtors and bills receivable. Okay, next cash and cash equivalent. It includes cash on hand, cash at bank, liquid fund or marketable investment. Next, short-term loans and advances. It includes prepaid expenses, loans given to staff, means okay, which is for the period of less than 12 months. Okay, other current asset, it includes interest receivable on investment, income tax refund due, rent and commission receivable. Okay, okay, these points are related to assets. Okay, other current asset. Okay, note number 21. Okay, equity and liability, that is total of this. Okay, all these points, these 4 points. For shareholder fund, next share application money pending allotment, next non-current liabilities, and last current liability. The total of these 4 is equity and liability, total of equity and liability. This total of equity and liability is tallied with the total of asset. Okay, total of asset include non-current asset and current asset. Okay, current asset. Okay, this is the format of balance sheet, that is part 1 of schedule 3. Okay, after that part 2 of P&L account, we will see part 2 of P&L account. Okay, just continue this note number, that is last note number is 21. Then for the part 2 we will continue with the 22 note number 22. Okay, this is part 2 of revised schedule 3, statement of profit and loss account. Look here, note number 22. Okay, note number 22. The starting point of statement of profit and loss account is revenue from operation. In that revenue from operation, we can mention sale of goods, sale of services, okay, trading commission. Okay, means revenue which earn from the operating activity. Okay, next point, point number 2, that is other income. In the other income, that is non-operating income, that is interest income, dividend received, profit or gain on sale of investment, profit or gain on sale of asset, commission received, and other operating non-operating income. Okay, point number 1 and point number 2, the total of 1 and 2 is total revenue. Okay, next after that, less expenses. In that expenses there are 7 points. First one is cost of raw material consume, cost of material consume. Okay, in that cost of raw material consume, opening stock of material, the format of it is opening stock of material, add purchases of material, add direct expenses related to purchases, less closing stock of material, and purchase return, less purchase return. Okay, the total of is, okay, this is cost of material consumed. Next, purchases of stock in trade. Okay, purchases we will mention here, purchases of stock in trade. Next, point number C, changes in inventories of finished goods, work in progress, and stock in trade. Okay, changes in inventory, note number 25. Closing inventory minus opening inventory. Okay, we will mention changes in inventory. Okay, closing inventory minus opening inventory of finished goods, work in progress, and stock in trade. Next, employee benefit expenses. It includes salary, wages, contribution to provident fund. Okay, salary and wages, contribution to provident fund, employees welfare expenses, bonus, medical expenses of employee, gratuity paid to employee, expenses on employee stock option plan. Okay, all this included employees benefit expenses. Okay, note number 26. Okay. Next expenses, finance cost. Finance cost include interest on borrowing from banks, interest on borrowing from others, interest on debentures. Next, interest on term loans, interest levied by tax department. Okay, all this include in finance cost. Next point is depreciation and amortization expenses. Okay, all the depreciation we will mention here. Depreciation on fixed asset, that is depreciation on building. Okay, depreciation on plant and machinery, vehicles, equipments. Okay, next and final point in expenses is other expenses. It includes all other expenses which are not mentioned above. Okay, all other expenses, that is office and administrative expenses, selling and distribution expenses, power and fuel, rent, insurance, repair and maintenance on building, machinery, furniture, vehicle, equipment, rent and rates, miscellaneous expenses, provision for doubtful debts, discount allowed, advertisement, audit fees, other expenses, means all other expenses excluding these 5 or 6 things we will mention in other expenses. That is all the selling expenses, officer administrative expenses are mentioned in the other expenses. Okay, this is the total expenses. Okay, total of this is total expenses. Next, point number 5, profit before exceptional and extraordinary item and tax, that is total revenue minus total expenses. Okay, we will find profit before exceptional and extraordinary item and tax. Okay, after that we will deduct exceptional item. Okay, exceptional item include reconstruction cost, disposal of investment and disposal of fixed asset, litigation settlement, reversal of provision. All these exceptional item will deduct from the profit before exceptional and extraordinary item and tax. Okay, then we will find profit before extraordinary item and tax. Okay, in the extraordinary item include loss from attachment of property, loss due to calamities like earthquake, flood, etc., profit from insurance claim, loss on account of fire, speculation loss or gain. Okay, after deduction of extraordinary item we will find profit before tax. Okay, that means point number 7 minus point number 8 is equal to profit before tax, point number 9. Okay, after profit before tax we will deduct tax, that is current tax or deferred tax. Then we will find profit or loss for the period from continuing operation. Okay, point number 9 minus point number 10. Okay, after that profit or loss from discontinuing operation. Next, tax expenses of discontinuing operation. Okay, and then we will find profit or loss from discontinuing operation, that is point number 11 minus point number 12 minus point number 13. Okay, profit or loss from discontinuing operation. Then we will finally find profit or loss for the period, that is point number 11, that is profit or loss from continuing operation, plus point number 14, that is profit or loss from discontinuing operation. Okay, finally we will find profit for the period. Okay, and point number 16, earning per equity. Okay, then we will find earning per equity, that is earning per equity share, that is profit or loss for the period divided by number of equity shares. Okay, this is the format for a statement of profit and loss account. But in actual practical problem you will find that after profit before exceptional, extraordinary item and tax, there are very less chances that you have exceptional and extraordinary item in your problem. and uh, there is also very less chances of information related to the discontinuing operation. Okay, so you will find directly profit. Here you will find directly profit before tax. After that you need to deduct tax expenses. You will find profit after tax. Okay, this is for your practical problem. But if you are asked to prepare the format of profit and loss account, at that time you need to mention all these things in the format of profit and loss account for the theory questions. Okay, but for the practical problem you need to prepare like this, that is profit before. Here you no need to mention that profit before exceptional and extraordinary item and tax. You can directly mention profit before tax. Okay, after that deduct the tax expenses. Okay, you will find profit after tax. Okay, this is statement of profit and loss account, format of statement of profit and loss account. Now after that we will see. Okay, there are two format. We have seen there are two format, that is format part 1 of revised schedule 3, format of balance sheet, and part 2 of revised schedule 3, that is statement of profit and loss account. Okay, now we will see one practical problem related to the final account of a company. Okay, this is the problem. You are provided with the trial balance of Devaki Nandan Limited. Okay, this is the trial balance of Devaki Nandan Limited, and some additional information. Okay, 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 we will read some additional information. Authorized share capital of the company divided into 50,000 equity share of rupees 100 each and 20,000 10% preference share of rupees 100 each. This is authorized share capital. We will show this in share capital, notes to accounts in share capital, note number 1. This is not actually adjustment, it is only information. Okay, that authorized capital of the company. Next, debenture are secured against the fixed assets of the company. This is also not adjustment, it is also just information. We will mention this in long term borrowing. In the notes we will show this in the long term borrowing, that debentures are secured against fixed asset. We will mention it in the particular column, that debenture are secured against fixed asset. Next adjustment is debtors include debtors rupees 7,500 which are due for more than 6 months. Okay, we will show that debtors are of rupees 7,500 are for the more than 6 months, and we will show other debtors, that is remaining debtors. Okay, debtors, okay, 35,000. So out of the 35,000, 7,500 are related to more than 6 months, and we will deduct 7,500 from 35,000 and we will find other debtors. Okay, we will show that in the notes to accounts in the trade receivable. Okay, then we have provided with the stocks, that is closing stock of raw material, finished goods and work in progress. Okay, next, preferred dividend for last 5 years is in arrears. It is only actually notes to accounts, it is contingent liability. We will show it in the notes to accounts. Okay, that preferred dividend is arrears for last 5 years. Okay, next, creditors include creditors for expenses 4,500. Okay, creditors include creditor for expenses 4,500. Okay, next, bills receivable include dishonored bill rupees 2,000. Okay, on the basis of the given information, prepare balance sheet as on 31st March 2019 as per the revised schedule 3 of the Companies Act. Okay, Companies Act 2013. Now let's start to solve the problem. Even though you are looking here 7 adjustment in this problem, but there are only 2 or 3 adjustment and remaining are only information. This first is showing the authorized share capital. This is only information. We have to just mention that authorized share capital in the notes to share capital. Okay, this is also information. Third point is also information. We will mention just debtors more than 6 months, and other debtors separately in the notes to accounts, that is in trade receivable. Okay, next stock, there is one adjustment actually stock, but it is not adjustment because we are not going to prepare the income statement. Okay, this closing stock we will show in the inventories. Okay, in the inventories, if you see, the total of this is rupees 1,20,000, and already we have stock here 1,20,000. Okay, so we will just mention that inventory in the notes to account, that is 1,20,000 separately. Okay, next, preference dividend was in arrears for last 5 years, so it is also information we will show it in contingent liability note, only in the notes actually, not in the balance sheet. Next, these last two are only adjustment actually, we have to mention two effects for that. Creditors include creditors for expenses rupees 4,500. Okay, so if you see the format, there is a trade payable, that means we have to mention only trade expenses in that actually trade payable, that means trade creditors and trade bills payable, and these creditors include creditors for expenses. Okay, not for purchases. Okay, so we have to mention this creditor for expenses in other current liabilities and not in trade payable. So we have to deduct that 4,500 from creditors, and we need to show it in other current liabilities. Okay, this is first adjustment. And next adjustment, bills receivable include dishonored bill of rupees 2,000, that means bill dishonored of rupees 2,000, we have to make adjustment for that. For the bill dishonored, we need to transfer the journal entry debtors account debit to bills receivable account. We need to deduct this amount from bills receivable, and we also need to add this amount in debtors. Okay, so the effect of this, deduct rupees 2,000 from bills receivable and add rupees 2,000 in the debtors. Okay, only these two adjustments are there, all other are information. Okay, now we will start to solve the problem. We just need to actually prepare the format of the balance sheet. Okay, there is no other actually any difficult adjustment in the problem actually. You just need to prepare the format of the balance sheet. You just need to try to mention all the information in the balance sheet format. Okay, so we already know what is the balance sheet format. This is the part 1 of the revised schedule 3. Okay, balance sheet. Okay, so first point is equity and liability. First part, starting point, is equity and liability. In that equity liability, first, shareholder fund. Okay, in that shareholder fund, A point is share capital. Okay, note number 1. So we will mention all the information related to share capital in note number 1. So we just in the note number 1 we have to mention this equity share capital and preference share capital, because there is only 2 shares. Okay, one equity shares and next preference shares. And first adjustment is there. Okay, in that we are provided with the authorized share capital. So in the first adjustment, first notes to account, we will mention authorized share capital, that is equity share capital 50,000 equity shares of rupees 100 each, that means rupees 50 lakhs, equity shares of rupees 50 lakhs, and preference shares of rupees 20,000 into 100, that is 20 lakhs. That is total authorized share capital of rupees, note number 1. Okay, 50,000 equity share of rupees 100 each, 50 lakhs, and 20,000 10% preference share of rupees 100 each, 20 lakhs. That is total authorized share capital is 70 lakhs. Okay, we will not consider this for a total share capital calculation. Okay, we just need to double underline here, mention double underline here, because that 70 lakhs is only authorized share capital. Okay, and below this we will mention issued, subscribed and paid up share capital. in that we have to mention these two. Okay, first 20,000 equity share of rupees 100 each, that is 20 lakhs, and 10,000 preference share of rupees 10 each, rupees 10 lakhs, that is share capital of rupees 30 lakhs. Okay, 30 lakhs. Okay, this is first note, 20 lakhs and 10 lakhs, that is total share capital is rupees 30 lakhs. Okay, like this we will prepare the balance sheet. That is main heading here, or main total amount is here, and all the detailed information we will show in the notes to account. Okay, this is notes to account, share capital, note number 1. Okay, 30 lakhs. So total 30 lakhs we will mention here, 30 lakhs. Next, in the format there is reserve and surplus. Okay, B point, reserve and surplus. Okay, so we will search for reserve and surplus item in the trial balance or the provided information. So in the reserve and surplus there is only general reserve, and next we will search. Okay, here another thing is there, that is profit and loss account credit balance. Okay, that is profit. Okay, if there is a debit balance, that debit balance means loss. Okay, so this is credit balance, that is profit. So we will add these two things in the reserve and surplus, and again search for other items actually if there is any other reserve and surplus. No, there is no other reserve and surplus, only two items are there. So first one is general reserve and second one is profit and loss account credit balance. Okay, that is 1 lakh and this is 1,50,000. So 2,50,000 will be reserve and surplus. Just make notes to account, that is note number 2. Okay, general reserve of 1 lakh and profit and loss account 1,50,000, that is reserve and surplus is rupees 2,50,000. Okay, so mention here 2,50,000, note number 2. Okay, so now total of the shareholder fund is rupees 32,50,000, that is 30 lakhs plus 2,50,000, that is 32,50,000. Okay, after that a C point is there if you see the format of the balance sheet, but we will mention those items which are necessary to mention. Actually no need to mention all the items which are shown in the actually format. Okay, so next C item, if you see the format, if you find you will find C item, that is money received against share warrant, but that item is not required to mention in the solution because no information is provided regarding this in the problem. Next, second major point is share application money pending allotment, but that point is also irrelevant for this problem. Okay, this practical problem purpose, so we will not mention that item also here. Okay, next third point as per the format is non-current liability. So we will mention here because we have not mentioned second point, so we will consider that point is second point, that is non-current liability. In the non-current liability there are actually 4 items, that is long-term borrowing, A point, second deferred tax liability, B point, C point is other long-term liabilities, and D point is long-term provision if you see the format. Okay, okay, this is 4 point. Okay, long-term liabilities, deferred tax liabilities, other long-term liabilities, and long-term provision. But if you see the current problem, there is only one item related to the current problem, that is debenture. Okay, that is long-term borrowing, and public deposit also long-term borrowing. Okay, and loan from IDBI. These 3 items are related to the long-term borrowing, so we will mention that in the long-term borrowing. Okay, second major point, non-current liabilities. In the non-current liability, A point, long-term borrowing. Okay, so in the long-term borrowing, note number 3, 8% debenture of rupees 100 each fully paid up. And if you see the problem, the second adjustment related to the debenture, debentures are secured against the fixed asset of the company. So we will mention in the notes that debentures are secured against fixed asset in the notes only, like this. Okay, 8% debenture of rupees 100 is fully paid up, and in bracket we will mention secured against fixed asset. Okay, secured against fixed asset. Okay, like this we will mention, we will note that actually, or we will mention that point here. Okay, next, loan from IDBI 1,28,500 and public deposit rupees 25,000. So the total of long term borrowing is 11,53,500. Okay, 11,53,500. So total of the long term liabilities is rupees 11,53,500. Okay, there is no other information related to non-current liability, that is there is no deferred tax liability, there is no other long-term liability, there is no other long-term provisions in the problem. Okay, just search for the all these things, actually each and every item, and just tick mark when you mention any item in the notes to account, just tick mark here, so that we will remember that we have considered already in the another item, that means we have considered this in share capital. Just tick mark here in the problem, so that you come to know that we have considered this point in other item. Okay, next heading is current liability. Okay, in the current liability there are actually 4 points, that is A, short term borrowing, B, trade payable, C, other current liabilities, and D, short term provision. So just mention first A, short term borrowing. In the short term borrowing there is one item actually, that is bank overdraft, rupees 35,000. Okay, so we will mention this in short term borrowing. Okay, short term borrowing, note number 4. Okay, bank overdraft. Okay, 35,000. Okay, first short term borrowing 35,000. 35,000, note number 4. Okay, next trade payable. In the trade payable, just look in the problem, actually in the trade payable there is creditor. Okay, sundry creditors rupees 75,000 and bills payable rupees 25,000. There is one adjustment related to creditors, that creditors include creditors for expenses rupees 4,500. So we need to deduct this creditor for expenses from the trade creditor. Okay, because in the trade payable we need to mention only trade creditor. Okay, this point, trade payable, note number 5. Okay, so in the note number 5, total creditor rupees 75,000 less creditor for expenses, because it is not trade creditor, so we will deduct this from the trade creditor, that is sundry creditors rupees 4,500. So the total trade creditors is rupees 70,500 and bills payable rupees 25,000. So the total trade payable is rupees 95,500. Okay, this is 95,500. And the second effect of this less creditors for expenses, we will mention it in the other current liabilities. Okay, that is creditor for expenses rupees 4,500. The first effect is less from the creditors, and second effect included in other current liability, that is 4,500 creditor for expenses. Okay, and in the other current liability there is another item, that is advance received from customer. If you see in the problem here, advance received from customer, that is rupees 12,000. So the total other current liabilities, note number 6. Okay, note number 6, creditor for expenses 4,500 and advance received from customer rupees 12,000. So the total of other current liabilities is rupees 16,500. Okay, this is 16,500 other current liabilities, note number 6, 16,500. And last item in the other current liability, current liability, that is short term provision. Okay, note number 7. Just look in the problem, you will find this provision for tax. Okay, rupees 25,000. It is short term provision. If there is any advance tax in the problem, then we will deduct it from the provision for tax. Okay, and we will compare that advance tax and provision for tax, whichever is more we will show there. If there is a provision for tax than the advance tax, we will mention it in provision for tax, that is short term provision. And if the advance tax is more than the provision for tax, okay, then we will mention it in short term loans and advances. Okay, that is advance tax. Okay, but in the current problem there is no any advance tax, so we will mention it in the short term provision itself. Okay, next point, short term provision, rupees note number 13, rupees 14,000, 40,000. No, it's not note number, it's note number 7, short term provision for tax, rupees 25,000. Okay, total rupees 25,000. So the total of current liability is rupees 1,72,000, and finally total of equity and liability rupees 45,75,500. Okay, this is the total of the first part of the balance sheet, that is equity and liability, 45,75,500. Now second part, asset. In the second part, first point is non-current asset. Okay, in the non-current asset, A point is fixed asset. If you see in the format, there are four things in the actually fixed asset, that is tangible asset, second intangible asset, next capital work in progress, and last one is intangible assets under development. In that only one point is there in our problem, that is tangible asset. Okay, there are tangible asset, that is fixed asset. Okay, directly they have already provided the net block of the fixed asset, that is 38,70,000. Okay, so we will mention note number, actually no need to mention the note because they have already provided. You can mention note also, actually note number 8, that is fixed asset, tangible fixed asset, 38,70,000. Okay, 38,70,000 total of first fixed asset. Okay, second B point is non-current investment. Okay, in the non-current investment, there is one investment actually. If you see in the non-current investment in shares of TCS Limited, that is 3,25,000. Okay, note number 8. Okay, note number 8, non-current investment in shares of TCS Limited, that is 3,25,000. Okay, total is rupees 3,25,000. Okay, 3,25,000 non-current investment. Next point in non-current asset is deferred tax asset. After that, D point is long-term loans and advances. E point is other non-current asset. But in our current problem, there is no information related to all these things. So the second point is current asset. In the second current asset, A point is current investment. Okay, in the current investment, this point is there actually. This point is related to the current investment, that is short term investment, rupees 20,000. Okay, so mention it in the current investment, note number 9. Okay, short term investment rupees 20,000, total is rupees 20,000. Okay, current investment. Okay, next point is inventories. Inventory means stock. Okay, this is stock. Raw material 35,000, finished goods 65,000, and work in progress rupees 20,000. Okay, note number 10. Okay, 1,20,000 inventories. Okay, next point is trade receivable, note number 11. In the trade receivable, there are two things, that is first is sundry debtor and second is bills receivable. There is one adjustment related to sundry debtor. It is not actually adjustment, it is only information. That is debtors include debtors for rupees 7,500 which are due for more than 6 months. Okay, and there is another adjustment also, note number adjustment number 7, that bills receivable include a dishonored bill of rupees 2,000. Okay, so note number 11, debtors rupees 35,000. That 2,000 is dishonored bill we need to add in the debtors, and second effect of this is less from the bills receivable. That is, in the same note we will mention two effect. First effect add in debtors, and second effect less from bills receivable, that is dishonored bill of rupees 2,000. Okay, and now this is rupees 35,000, sorry 37,000. Total of this rupees 37,000, and that 37,000 is distributed in two things, that is due for more than 6 months, rupees 7,500, that is provided in the adjustment, and remaining rupees other debtors, rupees 29,500, remaining rupees 29,500. The total of this is rupees 37,000. okay, just we need to mention it separately, that is more than 6 months and other debtors. Okay, 7,500 and remaining rupees 29,500, that is 37,000 minus 7,500 is equal to rupees 29,500. okay, and second point is bills receivable, that is rupees 18,000, and less dishonor bill rupees 2,000, that is rupees 16,000. so total of this is rupees 37,000 plus 16,000 is equal to 53,000, that is trade receivable. okay, trade receivable rupees 53,000. okay, next point is cash and cash equivalent. okay, in the cash and cash equivalent there is cash in hand 27,500, and other thing is bank balance, that is 1,20,000. okay, these two things are there. Just see the note number 12. okay, cash in hand and bank balance. okay, total 1,47,500. okay, cash balance 27,500 plus bank balance 1,20,000, that is 1,47,500. note number 12. okay, next point is short term loans and advances. In the short term loans and advances there is one point, advance to supplier. okay, advance to supplier rupees 40,000. okay, note number 13, short term loans and advances rupees 40,000. okay, now you can see that all the information we have mentioned in the actually format. okay, and one thing is remaining, actually we have mentioned this in note number 1, that is share capital, this in long term loans and advances, this in trade receivable, in the inventories. This point is remaining actually. The creditors we have mentioned it in the trade payable, this in actually trade receivable, and the fifth adjustment is actually remaining, that is preference dividend for last 5 years is in arrears. Just calculate the preference dividend for last 5 years. okay, that is 10% preference shares of rupees 100 each, that means rate of dividend is 10% and total preference shares is rupees 10 lakh. okay, so on the 10 lakh, 10% on the 10 lakh is preference dividend, that is 1 lakh is preference dividend for 1 year. 10% on 10 lakh, that is 1 lakh for 1 year, and but the preference dividend is in arrear for 5 years. okay, so the arrears of preference dividend is rupees 5 lakh, 1 lakh into 5. so just mention it in the notes to accounts, that is note number actually 14, contingent liability, preference dividend for last 5 years, preference dividend is in arrears for last 5 years, that is rupees 5 lakh. okay, it is only notes to accounts actually. okay, so this is the final account actually. You just need to prepare the format of balance sheet and the income statement, that is statement of P&L account. The problem is actually little bit easy actually. If you see the problem and the then you just need to mention all the items or all the information in the format. okay, there are very few adjustments related to the actually problem. There are 7 adjustments if you see, but out of this only 2 adjustments are there, all other are in the information. You just need to prepare the format. okay, just prepare for the format first actually. Try to write down the format for 4 to 5 times actually. Prepare for the format of the balance sheet, part 1 of the schedule 3, that is balance sheet, and part 2 of the schedule 3, that is a statement of P&L account, and try to solve 4 to 5 problem of each actually. then it is actually a little bit easy. Okay. Okay, thank you very much.